Welcome back to Spotlight. I also want to welcome my two guests, Mrs. Anthony Skelton, Director of the Social Security Board.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, and Mrs. Jeanette SCATLIFFE Boynes, Deputy Director. I got the two head honchos in the house tonight.
We are pleased to be here.
Welcome to Spotlight. Self-employed persons has been a challenge for you over the years?
A major challenge.
A major challenge?
A major challenge.
Yeah.
Go ahead. In 1991, it became necessary, it became mandatory for self-employed person to pay contribution, register with the board. And from then it has been an uphill battle. So that's why we're here tonight to encourage persons. For example, when I check the records today, as of the end of December, we had 984 self-employed persons registered with the board. And now that's 984, less than 50% of them are paying contribution. Less than 50%. You open your eyes.
So you see the challenge.
That's a big challenge.
Yeah.
Why you think that the problem is with that? Why that is the case? Anybody been able to determine what's happening? Is it that the businesses are so small that they can't afford to pay they have to pay the full 8.5%?
8.5%.
Yeah.
We had a cry. We had the cry that business is bad. Persons cannot afford to pay the contributions. But we also know the value and the benefits. And that's for that reason we are not giving up. Because it is very important that they register, contribute, and claim benefits.
There's a penalty for not registering. What is that?
There's
Or not paying?
There's a 5% surcharge for paying late, but the major penalty is that they forfeit the right to benefit. You see, most persons, and that's why a system like Social Security is necessary, because most persons are myopic. They're short-sighted. They want to use the money now. They don't see the long term. That is the basic problem. And we have been out there, Mrs. Boynes in particular, trying to show them the importance of paying. Because we see from day to day, as recent as maybe 3 to 4 weeks ago, there's a family where one person, I don't want to say whether male or female, died, but we had spoken to that family already about registering and paying. They didn't, and the person died. There was no funeral grant, and there are minor children involved. And so that's why we out there to show them the value, and that's why we here again and repeat myself, because we want persons to come in and sit down with us and see the importance of paying.
But you don't have a lot to lock us up if we don't pay. I'm a self-employed myself, so I pattern the statistic. But we don't have there's no mandatory legal requirement that can be enforced if we don't pay.
It is mandatory that persons, self-employed persons, register, contribute, and claim benefits. However, we don't have a system where we've never taken any self-employed person to court.
Can you though?
We can.
Okay.
But we have been going out and just begging and pleading and giving the information and showing the importance of registering and complying.
And if you took someone to court and they were found guilty for being non-compliant with the Social Security laws, you know what the penalty? Can you tell us what the penalty would be?
There's several penalties. There could be sentenced to jail if they're prosecuted criminally. What we have been doing to employers who have not been paying, we've been going the civil route. So there's a fine and then there's an order to pay and so on. But there's also, we can also take them criminally, and persons can be sentenced to jail. And if I might say, because now I have a wide listening audience, that is our next route. But we
so
feel.
I know. I know you want to go the civil route, and you want to give us an opportunity to come in voluntarily.
Yes.
To pay. But I also think that we need to know how serious a matter this is. So if you're curious, if you're thinking that if you're going to come out now and you're going to educate us, and if we still don't come in and comply, you could take us to court, and we will then be subject to a fine or imprisonment. You know what the fine, the maximum fine is, and what the imprisonment, the maximum time to serve in prison will be?
I think it's 3 months. I'm almost certain it's 3 months, and the fine is $600.
Okay.
But
It's
I think-
manageable, but that's not the way you want it.
No, but we think
let's
we need
continue.
to show you as an individual the importance of preparing for your future.
Yes.
Now, when you take out your employees' money, that's a different story. We force you to pay that, but we work with the individual.
Okay. So, what campaign you're back and what process now you're engaging in? Because you're on television, you're on radio,
Right.
you're in the newspapers, you're on the billboard, you're all over town. What's the campaign and what you hope to achieve?
The campaign is self-employed persons, Social Security Board is looking for you. And we are literally looking for the self-employed persons. Not only are we on the radio, the TV, we're using technology to reach the
Yeah, on
younger
Facebook.
persons. We are on Facebook, we are on the digital billboards, we are on the online media. We are trying to reach everyone to let them know the importance. And we are hoping that this month plus, because there's so much to be done, that we are going to have to stretch the campaign. We are hoping that we will touch all the different areas of the self-employed persons, all the different careers. There are a lot of self-employed persons out there. Yes, we know about the taxi drivers and we know of the vendors at Craft Alive, but they are the food vendors who are becoming huge, you know. And there are also the fishermen, they're the hairdressers, the babysitters, the farmers. We have lawyers, we have doctors. It's just so wide. We want to touch everyone and let them know that we want them to get on board. Because if they don't get on board, they are going to be left behind. And it's very, very difficult. It's very painful. When persons come in to claim a benefit and there's nothing there for them. You know?
So the contribution, so the process is to come in. If you're not registered, to register. Go through the process.
Registration is the first process.
Go through the process with us. Yeah.
And then the second process is to pay your contributions
On a monthly basis.
on a monthly basis. That's
And the
very
contribution will be
important.
determined based on what?
Based on the salary that they are making.
They make based on the salary they make.
They're paying
Yes.
themselves.
Yeah, and you know, it's self-employed persons are privileged because there's no set salary. We are saying to the self-employed persons, especially those persons in seasonal business, you may make $1,000 this month, but 2 months from now you may only make $500. You may only make $300. We are saying to you 8.5% of that is what we are looking for to ensure you, to secure your future.
So there's not a minimum that you have to pay?
Well, what the law says that the director has the authority to assign a salary. I guess based on what is being paid in the market. And but we give persons an opportunity, hoping that they will be honest and come in and pay on a fair salary. But we sit down and we explain to them, the more you pay, the more you get out. And you know what is sad is when I see persons who I know, because it's a small community, who you know, who at least you believe to have made a lot of money, and now they're qualifying for minimum pension because they paid in a little money. Last year in 2012, we budgeted that we would have collected $253,000 from self-employed persons. We collected 123. So even those who are paying on very little salary. So you have persons who ordinarily would make. I had a case where a gentleman didn't like his benefit, and he's telling me what he made, what the salary was that he was making, but that's not what he paid in on. So it's wise to declare a fair salary, because we can't say that you made 1,000 if you made 500, or made 1,000 if you made 3,000. But the wise thing to do is to sit down with us, and but we can demand any record that we want. Because the strangest thing, sometimes they file one set of figures with us and another set of figures with inland revenue. But we try to work with, especially
the
self-employed.
important thing is for them to remember is that what you're paying
Is what you're going to get
And
out,
that's what we are
yes.
saying to them. Contributions equals benefits.
Okay.
You know.
Now, what are the benefits to the self-employed persons who make their regular contributions?
Self-employed persons receive all 7 benefits, and that's an advantage. When we look at other Caribbean social security organizations and what they offer. First of all, some self-employed persons are not entitled to, they're not covered.
Yeah.
And those who are covered, they're only covered for certain benefits. But the self-employed persons in the BVI, they are covered for the 7 benefits. The benefits are sickness, maternity, employment injury, invalidity, age, funeral, and survival. So all 7 benefits. And that's, to me, a huge advantage, because the costs that they're paying for contributions in relations to the benefits that they can receive are very minimal.
So when you get sick and you get something from Social Security,
If you're sick for more than 3 days, you file a claim and you get 66 and 2/3% of what you, and the salary that you've declared.
so it's not just a pension plan.
No.
There are 7 benefits to gain from that.
But what and another thing that I want to emphasize is employment injury, Cromwell, because person who's self-employed, construction workers, taxi fishermen, then high risk industry.
Yes.
And if they're paying the contribution and something happened to them while they're employed, they receive 75% of the salary plus all the expenses are paid by the Social
All the
Security.
medical
Board.
expenses.
All the medical expenses. So if somebody in the construction industry who's self-employed, anybody, and if they were to have a fall and had to be flown out of here, they don't have to look left nor right. That's Social Security concern. We would have to pay that. We would have to pay those expenses. So there's a lot of benefit for paying. For registering and paying.
Well, some of the success story, you talk about a sad story where,
Oh, we have a lot of
persons
those.
come looking for benefits and didn't pay and didn't register, don't have any. What are some of the success stories that you've seen?
We have success stories of persons who comply. Persons, I know I can probably call this name, although I was not going to call a name, but I could call Mr. Donald De Castro. We talk a lot about Social Security and payments. And his story to me is always that he came home in 1986, 87, and at that time, Social Security did not offer self-employment benefits. As a self-employed person, he was not allowed to register. But remember, he came from the United States. He knew the importance of a Social Security system. So, of course, he said he made some noise. But shortly thereafter, 1991, the self-employment benefit came on stream. And he contributed. And he complied, and he's now claiming his benefit. And he will tell you that, it's a great benefit to him, and he always encourage persons to come in and pay their contributions. We have taxi drivers who have heard or plea and came in and paid their contributions. They're now receiving age pension, and they're very grateful. Last week we were in Craft Alive speaking to the vendors there, and this lady said to me, she said, I remember a few years ago you folks came over and you spoke to us. She said, I took you very seriously and I contributed. And now I can receive my benefit, and I am very grateful. So my thing, I said to her, I want you to tell the others the importance of paying in the contribution. Yes, it might be hard. Yes, it might be difficult. The cry is that, hey, we are not making any money, so we cannot pay our contribution. But if you put aside $20, $40, $50 a month, to secure yourself and your family, I think it's worth it. I know it's worth it.
Yesterday, I was walking back from the bank, and a taxi driver, he said, my 65th birthday is September 1. I was in there every month paying my contribution, and I want my check on September 1. I said, no, you'll get it October 1.
Yes.
Okay. Now, there is a minimum amount of payments you have to make in order to get benefits, right? Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay.
Because I don't think many of us realize, you think that you could wait till you're 65 and start paying, and then you're going to get, when you till you're 60 and start paying, and think you're going to get back some benefits.
No. To get an age pension, you must have paid 10 years. 50 contribution, which is 10 years.
500 contribution.
500 contribution, which is 10 years. And to get a survivor's invalidity, that's 250. Now for funeral grant, sickness benefit, maternity benefits, 26 contribution. 6 months worth of contribution.
So we need to start paying as soon as possible.
Yesterday.
As soon as possible,
Yeah.
and you also need to keep up with it, because we not only look at the qualifying conditions, not only look at the immediate contributions that were paid in. We also have to go back 1 year. You know, so those for the self-employed persons. So those self-employed persons, you know, there must be some consistency in the payment, and that is what we are saying. Don't wait until you are a few years to age 65 to come in, because you know it doesn't really work like that. It would not benefit them that much.
And that you get little or nothing.
Yeah.
In some instances, you just get one grant,
one
figure,
Right.
and then that's it. You don't really have any pension.
Right.
Yeah. So it's important. Now you've been, as you stated earlier, you've been on various media, trying to educate the self-employed person on what to do. What are the things that the self-employed person needs to do, and where can they get information? You know, on demand. If they wanted to just go and get some information, they hear us talking, they miss some of what we're saying, and they want to go to get information on demand. How can that happen?
The Social Security Board offices. We have our main office, Joshua Smith Building on Wakomski 1 in Roetown, Tortola, and we have a sub office in the Valley, Virgin Gorda. Persons can go into the office between 8:30 and 4 o'clock, and they can get all the information. They can call us. We would come to them. We will go to them. You know, they can come in. We would sit down with them. We will help them to fill out the forms. We will show them the percentages, and we would encourage them. I think we are willing to meet them more than halfway,
and for those,
to get them to comply.
And for those self-employed persons who have difficulty filling out the form on a monthly basis, we would assist them.
Several times I come there. The person at the desk will fill out the form for you. If you don't bring your form, you know. Social Security to me really, the people in Social Security really go beyond the call of duty to get this whole thing working.
I think it's because we understand, because we see it daily. Not once, we see it daily. People walking through that door, and the only source of income they have is a Social Security benefit. We see it daily. What saddens us is when people walk through the door, sometimes with a broken leg, or death in the family, and we have to say to them, "There's nothing here, nothing we can do for you." That saddens us.
And those sad moments are what we are trying to alleviate. We are trying to avoid them. So we are out there asking them to get on board.
Now you just put out a video.
Yes.
With some information promoting your program and encouraging the self-employed to come forward and so on, and it's quite an interesting little video. And we like to give it a play so that people watching could see some of what the Tory Board is doing to encourage people to come in.
Social Security Board.
I had that in my
That's okay. Social Security.
Social Security Board is doing to really help people to come in to pay their contribution. Let's take a look at the video.
Boy, what good? Yeah man, everything good?
Yeah man, look, come get a bus wash after them.
Boy, I can't wash down today, man. I'm hustling. It's 2 weeks now. I'm sick, but then I pay my Social Security. If I want paying that, is that what help me with the bills? So I hope you paying yours.
Man, I gotta lead up a big time taxi man like that. Yeah, I got all the cruise ship and tourists and them. I only try squeezing a little something, you understand?
Boy, I used to say the same thing, you know. But I guess I get Social Security what really helped me out. So if you ain't paying yours, better pay.
You know the sad thing about today, things that happen, so I gotta really take it into consideration and get this out, you know?
Yeah, man.
Real stuff.
Yeah.
Real stuff.
Yeah, boy. Well, I like to stay and chat with you, you know, but I gotta roll out. Remember I say and I hustle.
Yeah, man, that's what's understood. Ain't got to be explained to make that money.
Yeah,
you know
man,
what I'm saying?
catch up.
I can do the same, hold it down.
Self-employed persons, Social Security Board is looking for you. We need you to get on board. Comply today. Register, pay your contributions, and claim your benefits. The Social Security Board awards 7 benefits to self-employed persons. The benefits are sickness, maternity, employment injury, invalidity, age, funeral, and survival. Self-employed persons, we expect you to secure your tomorrow today.
And that's the message that we want persons to carry with them throughout the process.
Anything we didn't get to mention? Anything we need to focus on particular?
I would like to make an appeal to the clusters of self-employed persons, namely the taxi drivers, the associations, the vendors, the hairdressers. We are willing, the folks at Craft Alive, we are willing to have seminars. We are willing to have meetings. Actually, this morning we were in Virgin Gorda. The Taxi Commission, they've been giving us an opportunity to address their members, and that has been going really well. And we would like other persons to give us that opportunity wherever they see the need to give us a call. And we are willing to get out there, hit the ground running, get the message to them. And, you know, the joy is to see them coming in. The joy is to hear them say, hey, I paid my contributions and now I can claim my benefit. Mm-hmm. That's the joy that we are looking for.
And especially in the time of need.
Especially in the time of need. Yeah. Because people don't come into Social Security unless there's a need, you know.
Yeah.
They either need to pay, they had a death in the family, they're sick, they had a baby. And we want them, that anybody who comes through there to file a claim for benefit, we want to be able to pay them.
Okay. Well, unless you have any last statement, I think that we've pretty much said what has to be said. And we want to encourage persons to come in and make sure they pay their Social Security. Because we know of a lot of sad stories with people who, when they need it the most, it wasn't there. You don't want that to happen to you.
Correct.
Yeah. Before I leave, I think I would like to leave a number with the public.
Okay.
494-3418. Now that has an automated operator, and some people get frustrated.
Yeah, I want to put some blows on you for that.
But I'm going to give I'm going to give this the number that I use, because it's Social Security phone, as I have no problem people call me. The number is 496-8270. 496-8270 and 494-3418 anytime.
Okay. And when you get the automated machine, stay with it.
Yes, stay with it. It works. It works.
When you press O, the operator gonna come on.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Okay.
You press O.
I press O. I you know. But I think some little fine tuning will make it.
We will work.
We're going to work on that. We are working on it.
Yes. Just a little fine tuning. It ain't bad. Look at it. You know, a little fine tuning.
To the self-employed persons, we want to say, get on board. Don't be left out. Contribute. Claim benefits. Contributions equal benefits. The ball is in your court.
Director Antoinette Skelton, Deputy Director Jeanette SCATLIFFE BOYNES, thank you for being my guest on Spotlight. Thank you for the information.
And thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break for word from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to come back with Mrs. Noeline Levens-Clark. She is the National HIV/AIDS Program Coordinator here in the territory. Regional Testing Day is coming up on this Friday, and we need to get tested. If you haven't been tested already, the test is really easy. You know, a lot is changing in HIV/AIDS, and we need to find out about it. We're going to find out about it when we come back after these words from our sponsors. Keep it locked right here to Spotlight.
Spotlight is brought to you by Virgin Island Motors, Tortola Concrete Limited, Bolo's High Tech Printery, and H. Lavity Stout Community College.